Welcome back to another interesting session of food components in science. In your previous video, we learned what is food and what does it consist of. Let us recapitulate the gist of the lesson food components. Children, once we recapitulate, you will be asked few questions and you should answer them in your classwork. So, are you ready? Food is an essential requirement for living organisms. Why should we have food? We should have food as it gives us strength and energy. Food consists of essential components like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and rough phases. Carbohydrates and fats are called as energy giving foods and proteins as body building foods. What are the sources of these foods? Food items like potato, rice, wheat, bread, sugar are rich in carbohydrates. What are the elements present in carbohydrates? The elements that are present in carbohydrates are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. What is a protein made up of? Protein is made up of units called amino acids. Do you remember that growing children and adolescents need more protein? Yes. Food items like eggs, soya bean, dal, meat, fish, nuts, yogurt, and so on are rich in protein. What is the other food component that we are left with? Yes, you're right. Fats. They are oily substances that are made of units called fatty acids. You also studied that consuming excess fat rich foods lead to weight gain and obesity. Now try to answer these questions in your classwork. First question is, what are the essential components a human body requires? Next one, Raju is a 10-year-old boy and has poor growth. Doctor suggested him to include a food component in his diet. What could it be? Finally, what happens if we consume more oily foods? Children, do you remember we learned the activities of how to test the components of food? First, test for starch. Now, can you tell me what materials are required for testing starch? Yes, you got it. So, they are potato or boiled rice, dilute iodine solution, and a test tube. What color change is observed on adding dilute iodine solution to potato? Yes, dark blue or black color indicates the presence of starch present in food. Now let's recall the test for proteins. What are the materials required? Protein foods like dal powder, egg, 2% copper sulfate solution, 10% sodium hydroxide solution, and a test tube. Add 2 drops of copper sulfate solution and 10 drops of sodium hydroxide solution to the food component. Did you observe any color change? Yes, the food sample turns into purple or violet, indicating the presence of proteins in food. Can you tell me how fats are tested as we have already learned? So, materials required for this test are fatty foods like oil, ghee, and a piece of paper. You know that when fats are rubbed against a piece of paper, it turns translucent. Now it's time for some questions. Answer them in your science notes. Who am I? I am a component of food that makes paper translucent. Next, Put a drop of me on a cut potato. It turns dark blue. Who am I? Next question is, let us say food items like pulusu, cooked dal, ground nuts, bread are given to you. What food components do you think are present in them? Finally, how can you prepare 10% sodium hydroxide solution? We also learned that vitamins and minerals are known as micronutrients. Vitamins are many types like vitamin A, C, D, E, K, and vitamin B complex. Minerals also play a vital role in our body. They protect our body and keep it healthy. Children, you learned that roughages are key factors called bulk forming foods. Though they are not digested in our body, we take them as they help in preventing constipation. Can you tell me the sources of roughages? Yes, the fruits like oranges, melon, peels of vegetables, leafy vegetables, peas, pumpkin, ribbed gourd, and so on. We have studied that the majority of human body is made of water and it should be taken in plenty. Water is essential for digestion, absorption of nutrients, and eliminating waste from our body. We also focused on what a balanced diet is. All food components in food must be taken in required proportions and it makes a balanced diet. One should take foods like cereals, pulses adequately, fruits and vegetables in plenty, animal foods like meat moderately, and fat foods like ghee, butter must be taken sparingly. Do you think junk food has all the required components of food? No. Indeed, junk foods harm our digestive system. The food habits of people depend on the climatic conditions, culture, and widely grown crops. Effort of several scientists like Lavoisier and James Lind deciphered that we need nutrients and some diseases like scurvy could be prevented by intake of fresh fruits. It's time to answer these questions. You should answer them in your science notes. Here are some for you. If you were invited to a party with many food items in the menu like rice, dal, pizza, chips, fruits, salads, samosa, gulab jamun, eggs, what items will you select to make your diet a balanced one? Next question. A person is suffering with constipation as he eats fruits and vegetables by removing peels. What component is he missing in his diet? Next question is, how is water useful to our body? Finally, milk is the only food given to a baby till 6 months. So, is it a wholesome food for the baby?